If I told you that amid U.S. warships massing off the coast and President Trump's threats of airstrikes and troop deployments and plans to smash Venezuela, Venezuela's regime is fighting back not just with military drills, but with cartoon superheroes, sarcastic talk shows, and peace anthems, turning a Caribbean crisis into a bizarre blend of propaganda theater that mocks their foes while dodging panic. This takes clown show to an entirely new level. Yes, that's real. President Maduro's spandex sporting super mustache alter ego battles imperialists on state TV while his enforcer unleashes jokes and barbs as all the government shifts from downplaying dangers to rattling sabers, insisting this all about oil grabs, not drugs or a greater geopolitical conflict with the axes of China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea. This isn't satirical spin. It's collaborated by CNN investigations, Venezuela media analysis, expert interviews, and on-the-ground observations from Caracas to state broadcasts. No exaggeration, just escalating tactics. Hello, swivelheads. This is Greg Allison, the Green Gregs, and we've cross-checked this with news, media reports, political science insights from Javier Corrales, journalism, and Andre Gonzalez, and regime media clips. I will even show you this crazy cartoon campaign at the end of this video. Buckle up, because this isn't a fleeting meme war. It's a pattern of autocratic deflection in Latin America with implications for U.S.-Venezuela relations, hybrid propaganda in the digital age, and high-stakes games of brinkmanship heating up from the Caribbean to global oil markets. In my closing thoughts, I'll give you the prepper's takeaway. Yeah, for this, that seems kind of strange, but it's coming. Venezuela State TV has ramped up Super Mustache since 2021 with a September 2025 episode showing Maduro's cartoon self-image and military guard sword sheath proclaiming Venezuela's non-warmongering stance, just as Trump escalates airstrikes on alleged drug boats. The regime sends dual signals, urging readiness for conflict while assuring normalcy. No widespread billboards or murals in Caracas calls for war support, even in pro-government areas, contrasting past campaigns. Maduro, once reclusive, now appears publicly daily with heavy security, positioning himself as a dove amid rising tensions. Maduro has pivoted to portraying himself as a mediator, singing John Lennon's Imagine at events and urging Trump to engage in face-to-face talks. At a November 13, 2025 rally, he told CNN's Stefano Pazaban that the U.S. should unite with Venezuela for hemispheric peace. Researcher Andres Gonzalez notes that the strategy evolved early, downplaying of U.S. moves, shifting to retaliatory rhetoric as the warships amassed. This contrasts Maduro's enclosed pre-August appearances, now emphasizing public engagement to rally support without overt aggression. As Maduro's plays peacemaker, Interior Minister Diosdado Cabello hosts the 4 6-hour state TV show Con el Mazo Dando, blending opposition tactics, humor, and government promotion. Maybe they watch too much Jimmy Kimmel or Jon Stewart. What do you think? Tell me in the comments below. It's getting crazy. What a clown show. Episodes feature Cabello reading U.S. Republican criticisms, then countering with Hugo Chavez clips daring invasion. He insists U.S. actions target Venezuela's resources, not drugs or terrorism, declaring no real tensions, just aggression. Political scientist Javier Corrales calls Cabello a bully archetype in autocracies, excelling at trashing foes to bolster the regime. Yeah, that's kind of a good assessment. Venezuela's armed forces flood social media with dramatic footage, soldiers in shooting drills, anti-tank setups in Caracas, and militias posing with weapons set to intense music. These posts prepare the public for potential conflict without explicit call to arms, aligning with the regime's mixed messaging. Unlike street propaganda, this digital push reaches millions, reinforcing readiness while Cabello mocks U.S. moves, like sarcastically noting the CIA's new authorization to act in Venezuela, as if they hadn't had it before. Anyway, what a clown show. So, both Maduro and Cabello avoid harsh Trump criticism, instead vilifying Secretary of State Marco Rubio as a crazy Cuban. Indeed, they call him a crazy Cuban puppet, mastering war for personal gain and Cuban-American votes in Florida. Cabello claims Rubio fractures Trump's mega base and sells himself as a hawk, not serving U.S. interests. Canzelas explains Rubio embodies the direct enemy of the revolution, sowing U.S. divisions and uniting Chavistas. This tactic echoes broader anti-imperialist narratives, framing Rubio's Cuban heritage and anti-leftism as tools for regime cohesion. They also don't want to offend Trump's ego as they're trying to lure him into talks, which Trump appears open to. So maybe there's their real play. They are playing their version of, Rubio's a bad guy. Trump, yeah, we want to talk with him because they know the real power rests in Trump. And there may be talks. Trump has actually mentioned it to some degree, but I don't know. There's other reports that he is candid. So we'll see how that turns out. The government's communication phrase from minimizing U.S. Caribbean presence to threats per Canzelas. Early episodes of these shows dismissed tensions. Later ones escalated warnings. Corrales highlights Cabello's role in maintaining aggressive optics for the old guard. Even post-September airstrikes, Cabello downplayed some actions while preparing for all scenarios, basically. Balancing mobilization with avoiding siege panic. And that's a lot of what it's all about, my friends. CNN outreach to the U.S. State Department on these claims underscores the international echo. Venezuela's tactics highlight autocratic resilience amid U.S. pressure, potentially inspiring allies like Cuba or Nicaragua. With Trump's drug interdiction narrative clashing regime claims for resource grabs, it fuels regional divides. They are trying to get other countries in Latin America to side with them, with Venezuela. The European Union and Organization of American States, OAS, observers note dissonance risk internal unrest if escalation occurs. While digital propaganda amplifies global reach, challenging U.S. soft power in Latin America. And that's another piece of their agenda. This echoes the Hugo Chavez's era. He was the first commie president of Venezuela. Anyway, so it does challenge, but Maduro's blend adds cartoons and sarcasm for the social media age, similar to Russia's InfoWars or Iran's meme campaigns. Venezuela democratizes propaganda. Cheap TV and online tools level the field against superpowers. The 2025 surge ties to Trump's return, reviving the 2019-2020 tensions over Maduro's legitimacy and sanctions, especially after what happened with the previous elections, which you really can't talk about on this platform. Anyway, unchecked, this could spiral into real conflict if U.S. actions intensify, forcing Super Mustache to unsheath his sword. Solutions: diplomatic back channel, international mediation, and U.S. restraint to avoid regime exploitation. Canizales warns overplaying external threats risk domestic fatigue. Corrales notes autocracies thrive on such foils, but economic woes could undermine their facade. Their economic woes are horrendous. Already a quarter of the population has fled the country, and probably many more to come if things don't change for the good soon. Anywho, I'm going to show you the pictures. I'm going to show you the funny pictures of this regime and what they're trying to cook. I thought I had this opened up. Where's it at? Here we are. Yeah. Give me a second. Give me a second to pull this up. My friends, I don't have some of the tools that some YouTubers have that just instantly pops everything up unless I do a bunch of editing, which I don't have time for. Here we are. I kid you not, guys. This is real. This is Super Mustache. Mr. Super Mustache himself. So yeah, look, holding up his peace sign, dressed in his uh, what do we call it? Spandex. And yeah, so there's a whole series on them. They've even made toys, guys. They've even made toys. I kid you not. It's funny. They've even made toys. So I'll show you something that I thought was funny here in a minute. On this. Yeah, here's some of the toys they're making. There's some other toys and dolls I've seen on this. So they're actually commercializing Super Mustache, which is hilarious. And you can buy your own Super Mustache if you want it. So, yeah, and they got all kind of craziness here. Here's what I thought was really funny. Yeah, they got life size. Yeah, here we are. Look at this. There he is. But here's what I think is funny. Here's the one I think is funny. This is kind of a joke here. It's Batman hanging over a billboard of Superman to make him look like he's got a big mustache, to make him look like a super stash, because the super mustache is obviously a knockoff of Superman. Superman is floating in front of Batman, and he says, "Not funny, Bruce." Anyway, this is such a zany story. I got to find some humor in it. It's just, like I said, a real clown show. But there is a security take. When propaganda mixes cartoons with saber rattling, it's not just deflection, it's hybrid resilience testing U.S. resolve. Venezuela's lag in overt mobilization exposes internal fractures in a sanctioned economy, but ignoring this invites bolder info ops across hemispheres. Attribution of motives is key. Resource grabs or drug wars. As missteps risk escalation in a volatile region, investigating in dialogue, investing in dialogue, safeguards stability, and provocation invites chaos. Hmm. But now here's the prepper takeaway. For preppers and alert patriots, this illustrates the levels that government and organizations will stoop to in their clown show InfoWars to prevent populations panic and popularize rotten regimes while on the verge of SHTF. Likewise, when things are about to really head south here in our Western nations, don't expect our governments and media to give you any fair warning for what's about to come. You must take it upon yourselves to be prepared always. Never forget, calm precedes the storm. Just when you think everything is okay, bam, it hits. Always keep your eyes wide open and the head on a swivel. I will always try to show you what is really cooking under the comic hoods of their Betty mobiles. If you seek unflinching dives into global power plays, share this and follow for more. Stay watchful, stay strategic, stay informed. This is Greg Allison of Green Griggs. The propaganda shadows are deepening and the response windows are closing fast. For another informative video, click here. Anyway, subscribe, bang the bell, and click all. I want to thank everyone for watching. Again, share my videos. And with that, I am going to say, Greg out.